September's back, y'all. We made it. Football season is here. Everyone has a reason to be excited. No one's lost a game yet, and we all have expectations for our teams. Some are reasonable, and some aren't. If you're a fan like me, you're cautiously optimistic until reality sets in, and you're probably going to be reading mock drafts by October. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into some bold predictions for the 2025 NFL season. Alright, let's get this first one out of the way. The team that will surprisingly miss the playoffs will be the Commanders. We see this happen all the time, whether it was CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott, or RG3. Defenses adjust to you. And, defensive coordinators are really good at what they do. They find your kryptonite and they attack your weaknesses. And then you adjust, that's the game in the NFL. Plus, the Commanders had some amazing fortune a year ago. From barely escaping a Spencer Rattler comeback to the Hail Mary versus Chicago. And it's also been a weird offseason with the team's best weapon, Terry McLaurin.
Will we see Terry today out here doing anything?
Not at the practice portion. I'm not going to play Where's Waldo, guys, all right, moving forward. So just so we're clear on that.
As a Browns fan, I got to comment on the quarterback situation. They did just trade Kenny Pickett, so now they're only going to carry 3 instead of 4 quarterbacks, which, to be honest, might not be enough. Everyone wants to see Shedeur Sanders play, but he is listed at 3rd string, which means he probably won't play until about week 2. In all honesty, my actual prediction is that he'll make his first start by November 9th versus the New York Jets. I think he'll look promising in the games he plays in, but it won't result in wins. And as a fan of the team with the most bizarre quarterback room in the league, I don't even know what I want this season. I'm just grateful that we don't have to watch Kenny Pickett.
This is coming. Oh, what was that? Throws it into the ground. That was something.
Alright folks, before we continue, this video is brought to you by SeatGeek. The NFL season is here. It's a great time to get tickets to see your favorite teams. And with over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports festivals, and more. I plan on going to see at least a few local games, including a Seahawks-Falcons game later in the season. Each ticket is rated on a scale from 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal, with green dots meaning good and red dots meaning bad. And you know I came through for you guys. Use code KTO for $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off your first purchase using code KTO. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get back to the bold predictions. Arguably, the Lions and Vikings have the most stacked rosters outside of the Eagles in the entire NFC, but they both have things that concern me. The Lions lost 2 A+ coordinators, which, even if their replacements are decent, it's really hard to replace guys of that caliber. Sometimes the Jimmies and the Joes matter more than the X's and O's, but I think that coaching matters too much in the NFL, especially in late close games. For the Vikings, we just don't know what we're going to get with JJ McCarthy. I just don't believe he'll match that 35 touchdown season we saw a year ago from Sam Darnold.
Pressure from behind, keeps his eyes downfield and has a wide open man for the touchdown.
And considering he hasn't played a meaningful football game in over a year and a half, I could see this team starting slow offensively despite their talent. Of the top 3 teams in the NFC North, the team with the most continuity is the Green Bay Packers. Continuity matters, and when it comes to drafting and developing their own homegrown talent, the Packers do it better than anybody. They got the same pieces on this young roster having another year of development under their belts, as well as the same head coach and coordinators. I'm a firm believer in Matt LaFleur, especially after what he did last year with Malik Willis. Also, this team started rough in the division last year and finished 1-5. I think they're going to bounce back and do better in division and just better overall, and I think they will just slightly beat out the Lions for the division. It'll be fun to see how they incorporate their first-round receiver Matthew Golden into the mix. Also, I had written and recorded this entire video before the Micah Parsons trade. So now this doesn't feel like as bold of a prediction. But anyways, over in the AFC West, which may be the most stacked division in terms of head coaches ever, I see either the Chargers or the Broncos disappointing and missing the playoffs. Both have excellent coaching staffs that give reasons to believe in them. But when you play in such a stacked division with the team nobody in the AFC can seem to slow down and the Chiefs, something's gonna go wrong for somebody.
You got to beat a champion, and we weren't able to do it. So obviously, gut-wrenching. Any questions?
I could use the argument that I used against the Commanders for the Broncos. After all, Bo Nix was a rookie last season and he surprised many. But here's the thing. I believe the Broncos roster is way better than the Commanders roster. The Broncos defense is absolutely stacked. Last year they were the number 3 scoring defense, and this year they bring back a lot of their key pieces, as well as bringing in the additions of Greenlaw and Hufanga to the mix. Honestly, this gives me shades of the 2015 Broncos' dominant defense. For the Chargers, surprisingly, they had the number 1 defense in the league a year ago, and Justin Herbert threw just 3 interceptions last regular season. But after Rashawn Slater's injury news, I think this offense will struggle more than expected. I also think that Justin Herbert is a little overrated, considering that, he did have a good regular season last year, but somehow he's always ranked ahead of Patrick Mahomes in the quarterback rankings, yet he hasn't won a playoff game, and in his one playoff game last year, he threw 4 interceptions. So ultimately of these two teams, I see the Chargers as the one who will miss the playoffs. Now, if so far my takes have seemed reasonable, I'm sure I'll lose you on this one. The team that no one thinks is going to be good, but I think will make the playoffs, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. With a rebuilt front office and coaching staff, the Jags have some fresh blood in the building. Although this does go against my continuity argument with the Packers I made earlier, I do think if you replace a bad staff with a much better staff, things can change quickly. We saw it with the Texans in 2023 and the Commanders last season. New head coach Liam Cohen proved last year he could elevate Baker Mayfield to new heights, as the Bucs possessed a top 5 offense in terms of yards and points. Although I do admit this clip was a tough start to his tenure.
That's what this is about. Jacksonville. Duval.
I thought it was a little bit embarrassing for him, but everyone has a first Duval, so
Now, so far Trevor Lawrence's career has been a disappointment. But with the addition of Travis Hunter alongside another year of Brian Thomas Jr., I think this offense can be really explosive and surprise many people. Ultimately, if they can get to 5-5, their last 7 games are really favorable, and I think that they could win 9 to 10 games and sneak into the wild card. Another team I probably shouldn't believe in, but I do,
if you ain't ready to bang, bro, get the off the field, bro,
is the Carolina Panthers. Look, I'm not saying this is going to be a playoff team. I just think they're going to take a step in the right direction. Probably win in that 8 to 9 wins. Bryce Young finished last season looking like a competent NFL starter. His final 3 games saw a 100 or better quarterback rating and 2 clutch overtime victories. This is his make or break year, and I believe he has the best support around him that he's had. The team drafted that Arizona receiver McMillan 8th overall in 2025, and he might just be a beast. Other interesting low-key moves this team made was signing Hunter Renfrow, and they drafted Jimmy Horn, the 6th-round receiver from Colorado. Now, the defense is the biggest liability on this team. They were the worst in the NFL last season, and they replaced about half their starters.
This is a new year. We're all excited, for the new guys. Each and every day, just focus and, just get better.
This is the big unknown with this team, but honestly, the only way they can go is up. So if their defense can improve a little bit and Bryce Young can step it up, this team should win more games, maybe in that 8 to 9 range like I was saying. Over in the NFC West, many feel like this will be a battle between the Niners and Rams, but I believe the Seahawks will win the division. After paying Brock Purdy and losing Debo and defensive starters like Hufanga, Greenlaw, and Charvarius Ward, I just see this as a older and not as dominant team. Don't get me wrong, I still see them doing better than last year and making the playoffs, but not returning to the dominant form we saw 2 to 3 years ago.
Yes, Fred Warner is back, but there are a lot of people missing on that defense, and this defense is going to have to find a way to step up.
For the Rams, I just don't have faith in them right now. They have an old, injured quarterback in Matt Stafford who, even if he returns with this back injury that he's dealing with, I just see that as being an issue the whole season, and I just don't think you can rely on that. For the Seahawks, call me crazy, but I'm a firm believer in Sam Darnold after what we saw from him last season. I admit those last 2 games last year were brutal, and you could argue that Geno is a better quarterback, as well as the fact that they definitely have worse weapons in Seattle than Sam had in Minnesota. But you gotta remember, this team won 10 games last year with a mediocre scoring offense. If this offense can run the ball and the defense can dominate, which I do believe they will, Sam just needs to be average for this team to have success. And I believe he'll be better than average. Alright, for my final bold prediction of the 2025 NFL season, I believe that the Tampa Bay Bucks will reach the NFC Championship game. I don't know if they're going to win, I don't know, but I do believe they will make it to that game. Coming off his best season of his career, Baker Mayfield will have his most favorable weaponry around him that he's ever had. Bucky Irving may lead the NFL in rushing yards. Mike Evans is still Mike Evans. Chris Godwin will come back by October. And first-round receiver Emeka Egbuka may be the X factor to help take this team into the stratosphere.
What are his odds for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Because they're probably surging. 25 to 1, that type of range.
Kind of like that bet. Kind of like that bet.
In the weakest division in the NFC, the Bucks may clinch the number 2, heck, even the number 1 seed, depending on how Philly's season goes.
3-man rush. Steps away, looking, going to take a shot. He's got a man. Is he in? He is! It's a touchdown for me!